there have only been 6 expeditions to the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
It's too deep for most divers to go.
The weather can be very treacherous, very nasty. It can turn in minutes. So you have windows of opportunities which are very small.
I was a brand new diver, had never been on a shipwreck at that point.
So we're going to go to the right?
It was 550 feet down at the deepest point. Nobody could really get to this except for people with submarines.
I'd never been in a submersible before.
It's a highly complex, very dangerous dive to that depth.
It's deep and a little spooky as a result of all of this.
I don't know an awful lot of people maybe that would want to get into a small enclosed space like that and go 500 plus feet down into Lake Superior.
It takes you a while to convince yourself that you really want to do this.
Fortunately for me, I'm one of them.
It's a mind-bending experience because you know when that door goes shut on that submersible, there's no turning around and going back.
Grab onto the cables here, step on this rod right here.
I remember filming the submarine as it went down into the abyss.
Rick Mixter recorded and dove as part of a privately funded expedition in 1994.
I remember thinking how deep it was and that if I dropped my camera, it would implode at 300 feet.
There's nothing like seeing it with your own eyes.
Larry Elliott dove in 1994 and 1995.
There are very few eyes that have ever seen the Edmund Fitzgerald in this place.
The ship is dented, or the bow section is dented in many places.
Famous ocean explorer Jean-Michel Cousteau, the son of Jacques Cousteau, became the first person to dive to the Fitzgerald in 1980.
We were the first human eyes to go down and see for ourselves what was going on.
While these expeditions did not bring closure to the Great Lakes' greatest mystery, they did bring remarkable images and video to the surface.
The interest literally from all over the world. I mean, we did radio interviews with radio stations from Australia, and that just blows your mind when you think of literally worldwide interest in this shipwreck.
Hours of behind-the-scene video reveal the challenges and dangers of diving this deep.
The light slowly diminishes from Lake Superior until you get to about 250 feet. Then it goes dark.
It's complete darkness down there at 535 feet down in Lake Superior.
All of us were lost down there. We didn't have any way of triangulating locations or distances.
You're kind of straining your eyes trying to see out into this foggy light out ahead of you.
So we had lights, of course, on the sub, but the lights only go maybe 20, 25 feet. And there's a lot of darkness beyond that.
You light it up a little bit, and you keep telling yourself, okay, we're not going to hit the ship before we see it, are we?
Back off a little bit, you're too close.
When you go down to the sub like that, you don't land right on top of the wreck.
Okay, that's good.
You land off the wreck a bit, and then you use your sonar.
And then we started heading what we thought was the wreck. And we're going across, and all of a sudden I see bottom, and a giant crack in the ground. We were actually on the Edmund Fitzgerald and didn't realize it.
The danger of diving a wreck like this is you can't see all the way around you.
We started to drop down to the deck. The pilot said, I think we're in the ship. And the sonar on the side turned bright red.
I think the wreck's over here to the left of us.
It took me a second just to realize what he was saying. He meant we're going inside the wreck.
There's that danger in a wreck that's got this much debris around it. You can't tell if there's something just behind you and you're backing up. And if you get a skid caught on a piece of wreckage, you don't know which way you have to move to get free.
That's when it started sinking in. That I might be the first one to go if we hit something because I'm looking out the window on top.
If you bump into something, you wonder, is the hull of the submarine going to withstand it? If you get so much as a pinhole leak in that thick steel hull, it will cut you like a water blaster.
Let's turn on the recorder.
You see the front of the pilot house come out of the fog of that low light situation.
All right, coming down here. Coming down.
And it just is heart-stopping.
You see the Fitzgerald coming out of the darkness, and you almost gasp.
And here's these giant letters, Edmund Fitzgerald, filling the portholes on the Delta submarine.
The pilot house is painted white, the lettering is black, and that really stands out when the lights hit it. The image of the shipwreck just comes into view, and you just can't say anything.
That was fun. It'll be hard to top this. Oh, man.
I was blown away. I was super excited that we were diving the most famous shipwreck on the Great Lakes.
Although it's very cramped. Oh, man.
We went right to the pilot house, and there was a reason we did that.
Elliott says during an unmanned dive in 1989, 3D imaging revealed the door to the pilot house was open.
Now, you may think, okay, the ship sunk. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that we weren't sure why that pilot house door would be open. You're in a storm like that, you'd never unlatch the dogs on that door. These are big steel latches that prevent the door from being open. They don't open with just a doorknob. You actually have to move the latches to seal this door shut.
The dogs are open, the door is not broken.
Now, right away, even in the sub at the time, we were talking. And right away we said, that indicates to us that somebody tried to get out of that pilot house.
Imagine the force it took to break those windows is just mind-bending.
I think it's a big indicator of how quickly the ship went down.